is what Mikey has. So Mike, to put it in perspective for people that live in the flyover states, first of all, I was very surprised that you got eliminated first because Kevin and Bean is an LA show, and LA is the second biggest market in the country, and I thought incorrectly, if Kevin and Bean listeners are exhausting their votes, myself included, my wife included, 5 times on the phone, 10 times via text, well, this guy's going to skate at least 3 weeks.
That's what you would think, but you got to remember that the Kevin and Bean audience, although big and although a great audience, is 1/15 the Wendy Williams army. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's legit. And I didn't even know that till I really went on her show as a guest. I know I did.
My wife just said you needed a big wig.
I did. That's what I needed. It's like a monstrous wig.
How you doing?
I love Wendy Williams. We
love her. We think she's great.
She has a whole network of like really intense fans. And I mean,
she's
in
cool
the
as hell, though, right?
Oh, she's totally cool.
Yeah, we love her.
You know what I like about her? And you know better than I would, Jay, and certainly you, Nikki, is that when you do talk shows, a lot of times you are immediately hit with the sense that this person is only talking to me right now because I am now an employee of their show for the next 20 minutes.
Right. Male and a male slot.
Wendy Williams comes and hangs out with you you're like having a real conversation. She's
it's a hang.
Yeah. She's a real like legitimate person. And I also don't like that she in no way denies that she is dead set on being as rich as possible and making it big in show business. And that's her main goal. Like, no, she doesn't fool around and like, I'm in this for the kids or for the people. Like,
I just want to communicate my ideas to a higher audience.
No, Wendy Williams is like, I want to try to figure out a way to talk for a living and make millions of dollars.
Get money.
Yeah.
Stack paper.
That's all hip hop for her.
Let's take a pause here because there's apparently an apartheid bus going by. What the fuck was that? There was like a South African apartheid riot bus just went down my street and sprayed the neighborhood, ridding it of all non-Catholics. Yeah, that was no joke.
That was the
those weren't painted on. Those weren't painted on skulls. Those were actual skulls. Swap meet. They were going.
Swap meets.
They're all going to the swap meets. So to put it in perspective, again, I would have thought that the audience of Kevin and Bean that you say is 1/115th of Wendy Williams' army. However, you have, let's say, 100,000 people voting their balls off, and then you get the trickle effect of the other people in the rest of the country, like the girls and the guys who go, oh, this guy's funny, or just because they hate someone else, they'll vote for you.
Yeah.
There should be a line on Dancing with the Stars or on American Idol where you can vote for someone you hate. Like, I vote so much against this person that there's an I hate this person line.
Like a dislike button on Facebook, but for voting.
Excellent choice.
You know what I'm saying?
Very nice. So you've crystallized my thoughts eloquently, as always.
That would be sweet, you know, because then you could see. I also wished, and I talked to like the people behind Dancing with the Stars after, you know, long time after I had left the show. Like, it would be cool to actually see the results of the voting.
Yeah.
Like, they never tell you, like, how close I came to.
I got to see it on, I'm looking for the cap on this marker in case you wonder why I'm up dancing around. I got to see the results of all of the votes on, forget it, Last Comic Standing. And it was really fascinating, and it was cultural, completely cultural. Thank you, love. Tess was the black female comic from Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah.
And she was very funny.
Right.
And I thought she was really original and great. She got 6% of the vote. And I thought, that's impossible that this woman who was killing it so hard and super unique, a big mama got it all, like doing her thing. And I think it was complete culturally split, because this is also like 10 years ago where 877 was the new 800.
Yeah.
And I don't think people in like lower tax brackets really believe that it was a toll free. Like, hey man,
I also don't think that
toll free is 800. What's his 877? They're trying to fuck with us.
That's a good theory. I also don't think
that fan who knew how to text before anybody, the Asians.
Oh yeah,
that fan fucking beating Ralphie May in a final of a stand-up comedy competition. That's the wackiest shit that ever went down.
Yeah.
That's why I think they should have been able to fight. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Go for the fucking knockout.
Well, that might not have turned out well for Ralphie May.
You think that fan could take Ralphie?
That fan is a Vietnamese man, and you never know what's up that guy's sleeve.
Have you noticed?
I was in Nam, trust me.
Go ahead. You were in Nam?
Yeah.
You were in Nam.
I was firing the 50 cal out of a Huey. You have straight from the rice paddy.
Y'all talking about killing? Y'all experts? Well, I'd like to hear about heads.
I was in Korea with Deacon Jones. It was,
shit. It's take a minute.
Crazy strife.
Everybody know why they call me Chink a minute.
Well, no, you're exactly right. I also think that not a lot of probably like I'm not even just saying black people, but like hip hop culture in general watched a primetime NBC comedy show 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was probably just a demographic of what watched the show.
And I think that's the biggest downfall. Not a downfall because they're going to keep making money and being more wealthy than ever. But that's the biggest mistake that networks make is they think to themselves, they think to you, to everybody that'll listen, hey, let's bring in a black friend. And that'll get black people to come watch the show. When you know that's not the case at all. There's not a single black human on earth going, I should watch this show because his best friend's black.
Right.
Like they're reaching out to me. Black people are at home watching Frasier, like reruns.
Yeah.
Like they love Frasier.
It's
they love
true.
Seinfeld.
How does that happen?
Not a single black.
Seinfeld, I understand. How on the earth did they think Frasier Crane's the character I get behind?
I don't know, but they love any black friend
And
that had.
like Caribbean black guys, like inner city black guys, they're all up.
Oh shit,
Frasier
that's my man Kelsey Grammer's.
Blood clot, Kelsey Grammer.
My wife said it's the theory is that they love the curmudgeonly old white man. The old white
They certainly
dad.
don't like the little dog because black people hate dogs unless they're pit bulls.
You gotta look at the game tape for that one. So your mom, you getting voted off Dancing with the Stars, really probably, I'm correcting myself from an earlier statement, didn't really make a dent.
No.
Compared to when you had to look your mother in the eye and say, I'm going to rehab for the third time.
Considering how bad a kid I probably, like in their eyes, like how much of a disappointment I was for the first 20 years of my life, the last 10 years of my life is gravy. Like really, there's no disappointment. Honestly, there's been no divorce, Dance with the Stars, any of that.
We got to get you a nice woman because I said it last week. You are like the all-time when women say to you like all the time, and they say it to you like, "Hey, you got any friends for me?" Like you're the guy. Like Mike Catherwood's like the ultimate catch. He's sober. He's got his act together. And you said last week, I just want to be a Little League dad. That's all I want.
It's true.
Women just got fucking soaking wet hearing that come out of your mouth. I guarantee you, Mike. But you got to make yourself available. You got to get out to Gelson's. You got to get out to the Ralphs.
It's true.
And you got to just walk up to ladies in the produce and go, I'm Mike Catherwood for more stories. I don't know if you listen to it.
That's going to be my pickup. I will tell you that the Whole Foods in Venice on Lincoln and Rose is practically the Playboy Mansion. Like, I can't even concentrate. There's so much hot. Like, there's.
But do
so
you ever
much.
go up and talk to them?
No.
Well, then how do you?
I've never hit on a girl in my life. I've never approached a woman.
Very interesting.
And like tried to spit game.
This is fascinating to me because this is the reason you started to use drugs and alcohol. Because you couldn't go to school and, quote, fit in. And then here we are. We're out the other end of the rabbit hole. You see the daylight. You're safe. You're sound. You're going to the meetings. You're banging them out. You're healthy. You're lifting. You're running. You're eating right. But when you go to the market, that's the quote-unquote Playboy Mansion, as you put it, you still are that kid that's 14 years old in Azusa High School that's afraid to make the extension to go, hey, I'm Mike, how you doing?
I didn't go to Azusa, but yes.
Well, you use it as a reference.
Near your Azusa. Yeah, you're exactly right. Wow. I constantly, day in and day out, for a good...
So you need to use again.
For the last chunk of my life,
Nothing.
the last little... No, I don't need to use again. The last little...
Wow.
I would say the last major segment of my life. I've gone out of my way to do a lot of things, pretty much everything that comes my way that I'm scared of. I do it. I started training in jiu-jitsu. I started, surfing. I started doing all these things that seemed intimidating to me so that I could constantly be outside of my comfort zone. Same with Dancing with the Stars. I mean, a lot of it wasn't just finance and to bolster my presence. Also, a lot of it was that I was super scared to do it. And I knew that even if I got eliminated first, and even if it was a disaster, I could come away from it knowing that I tackled something that was really intimidating and I tackled it head on as opposed to running away from stuff like I did throughout my youth. The one thing that still remains very intimidating to me, and it's one thing that I haven't at all tried to tackle, is the ladies. So maybe that is...
For those of you listening, you got to see the guy I'm looking at. He's like this gorgeous guy. Huh? Oh. My wife says it doesn't matter if you don't feel good about yourself.
And she's exactly right. Another way I analyze like my male friends, a lot of my male friends that have the most beautiful, and not even just physically beautiful, like the women that are just great girls, like you're like, that's a catch. A lot of them aren't necessarily the wealthiest or most handsome guys. They are the guys that have the most to offer. And that's because women are so much deeper when it comes to intimacy. Women are much deeper than men are. Men, even if you're a good dude, you're so ruled by being visually stimulated.
Grunt.
You are.
Grunt,
you just
grunt,
are so
grunt.
turned on by what you like visually that a lot of times, like, you'll never see ever. I mean, okay, I don't want to say never, but very rarely will you see a Brad Pitt looking dude with like a beat ass chick. Often you will see a perfect 10 chick with like a mediocre looking dude. You know, it's just the way it is.
He's got the hustle. He's got, or I always say to people, that's because when my friends will go, not anymore, because I don't really hang out with people that disparage other people anymore, when I shed my skin, so to speak. But you'd have friends that go, how did that asshole wind up with that awesome chick? And I used to go, because he said hi to her. He walked up to her and said hello.
Marissa Miller's on Loveline.
They're great.
Marissa Miller's on Loveline. I'm talking. Her husband's sitting, right where your engineer
crazy ass mohawk.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't want to say it to be insulting in front of, but I'm like, look, you do not look like what I would expect of Marissa Miller's husband. I was expecting an Italian dignitary with a Maserati parked out in front,
Prime Minister
and a Prada suit on, and he's like this kind of bro in his Vans and his beat up Dickies.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the secret? How do you get a girl like this? And Marissa Miller, without hesitation, she said, he was the one who came up and talked to me like a real person.
Marissa Miller's husband looks like he's in Blink 182.
He does. No, he doesn't. He looks like he's the roadie for Blink 182.
Yeah.
I mean, he really does.
Again, another band where the roadies probably get laid first.
Oh.
We were talking about the Traveling Wilburys a while ago. We realized the roadies were probably getting major puss.
The Ramones. Like, remember, like, at the height of the Ramones, like, where they became, like, culturally really significant? You know they had, like, that one, like, young, hot roadie who got way more pussy than, like, Joey and Dee Dee combined. Yeah.
Dee Dee was the best-looking guy, and he was too spat out to do anything with his crank.
Right.
He was on too much crank to work his crank. The point you brought up that I found really interesting, and then I really want to talk to you about rehab, and I think people will be very interested to hear about how it actually works and the pratfalls and the ways it doesn't work, but mostly the way it works because it's awesome. Is you said that, like, when guys, you don't know if you have enough to offer. What's interesting is when I met Nick, I had nothing to offer, and she had just been dumped, and she was not looking for anybody.
Right.
She was like a guy. She's more like a guy than most of my guy friends. She was like, I'm going to play the field. I'm getting after it. This is crazy. I'll tell you one thing I'll never do again. I'll never meet a fucking comic, especially one with a kid, especially one that just got divorced. Fuck that shit. Where are the bankers? Line them up.
Yeah.
Let's get it down. Let's get going. Lay me down. Oh, let's do it. Hey, this is Thanksgiving. This is Christmas. See me between the holidays. So then when we met on the set of, I have to give credit, Damon Bruce, the radio DJ out of San Francisco, said his grandmother used to say that. She'd slap her thigh and say, this is Thanksgiving.
This is Thanksgiving.
This is Christmas. You come see me between the holidays.
Oh,
but she was an old
God.
fat lady. And when he said it to me on the phone, yeah, his grandmother's
I'd
Cloris
never
Leachman.
recover from hearing my grandma tell me that.
When he said it to me on the phone, I could hear him like really hard, like hitting his thigh like a fat person, but he's not. And I laughed so hard.
No, that's money right there.
Oh, it's great. So Nick was like, this is Thanksgiving, this is Christmas. Everyone come see me between the holidays pronto. Line them up, stack them like a fucking Jenga tower. I don't give a shit. And then we met, and I was like just this fucking lost asshole.
Right.
And I told her these weird stories and like bizarre shit. Like it was almost like I was trying to chase her off, but in my conscious, I'm like, no, I would never do that. But subconsciously, when I look back, there's no other explanation for the bizarre things. Like I would look through a magazine and I would point to someone and we'd be dating like 2 weeks, say.
Yeah.
And I go, I'd fuck her. Like, you don't fucking say that.
No.
Like, and she'll say to me, like, were you trying to, like, tell me? I'm like, I'll say, I didn't say that. And she goes, yes, you did. And I'm like, I have no idea what dimension I was in that I thought that was okay to behave that way.
Yeah, but you were in a place where you can't really reason with you couldn't reason with yourself. Like, your behavior is probably so off the charts irrational because you were going through so much emotionally.
You met me right. You're an interesting guy to me because you're one of the few people aside from my wife that met me as I walked through that turnstile.
Yeah, it's true. And I saw through your visits to the Kevin and Bean studio and through like your stand up, like a massive transformation of Jay Mohr. Like I remember you being so neurotic and so kind of cynical about life. When you were still hysterical and I'm
angry,
but off the air, you'd be sitting there talking to Kevin and Bean. I'm like, wow, this guy's really not happy. He's not a happy man.